How y'all doing out there? Today we are about to make the easiest crock pot chicken stew. Now I'm going to share a few tips with you that will save you a lot of time in the kitchen, especially if you're a family on the go. Now you can use any part of the chicken that you like, but because of the fattiness from the chicken thigh, that's what we'll use. Let's get started. I went in with a half a cup of ranch dressing, and I also went in with a teaspoon of ranch seasoning. We're going to go in with a teaspoon of chicken bouillon. Then we're going to go in with a half a teaspoon of Cajun Ragin by Emily Seasoning. I really appreciate everyone's support on this brand. Then we're going to go in with a teaspoon of smoked paprika. Then we're going to go in with a teaspoon of onion powder. We're going to go in with a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. Then we're going to go in with a teaspoon of garlic powder. Then we're going to go in with a half a teaspoon of cumin, a half a teaspoon of turmeric. Then we're going to go ahead and add some of my favorite sesame oil. We're going to go ahead with a tablespoon of that. Now we're going to go ahead and add some of this good old ginger paste. It's up to you how much you want to use. Go ahead and mix that up. Now I want to say here, we are going to cook the chicken with the skin on and remove it later. Okay. Now if you have time, you can let this marinate in the fridge overnight. If not, let it sit for about 45 minutes to an hour covered and you'll be just fine. Moving right along, I like to season my pan. So what I did was fresh cilantro, a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, fresh garlic, and some lemon slices. Now we're going to go ahead and lay those thighs down. Now you don't want to crowd your pan, but for me, I think I can get about 4 in here. We're cooking on medium heat for about 3 to 5 minutes. Now look at that. As I moved them around, I was able to squeeze one more in there. Now this next step, of course, we can do it the traditional way and make homemade soup. But I went on to Aldi and grabbed that good old tomato and sweet basil. Now all we're going to do is build a good base. So I went in with some of this good old less sodium chicken broth. Their tomato soup is actually pretty good by itself. But all we're doing again is enhancing the flavor. Now I'm going to go in with a tablespoon of brown sugar. Then I'm going to go in with a little bit of nutmeg. Just a dash is all I'm going to use. Now you see our chicken right there. Now I went on and let it cook for about 5 minutes on each side. But let me tell you, when you season your pan with fresh cilantro, garlic, and lemons, it does something. I know your entire house is smelling good by now. Look at that. That's the sear we're looking for. Now I forgot to mention, if you're one to keep your skin on, you can go ahead and add a little bit of cornstarch during your prepping process. We're going to go in with some of these fire roasted tomatoes. Drain half the can. Remember, all we're doing is building a robust flavor. Y'all know I just showed you how to go ahead and elevate that good old Aldi sweet basil tomato soup. Go ahead and add you some fresh cilantro and those good old sweet peppers. And look at that. Sometimes I get creative and add some corn and black beans, but we're not doing that today. Let's go ahead and get that crock pot ready. Then we're going to go ahead and add the sauce. All we're doing is coating the entire bottom of the crock pot. Now I'm going to go ahead and start laying those good old plump chicken thighs or whatever meat you decide to use. Now this is completely optional, but I'm going to go ahead and drain the liquid from the skillet into that crock pot. I like to really build a flavor. Now we're going to go ahead and blend everything in. It smells so good in there, I know it does. Now I'm going to go ahead and cover this and set it on high for about 2 hours. Then I'll go in, give it a good stir. And if you need to adjust your seasonings, now is the time. But now we're going to go ahead and remove all of the chicken fat. You can keep yours, but I won't. Then I went in and made a cornstarch slurry, which is a tablespoon of cornstarch to 2 tablespoons of water. Go ahead and add that if you want to thicken up your soup. That's what I did, and look at that. Now, after you mix everything in, adjust your seasonings. You can go ahead and leave it on high and cover it for about another hour to hour and a half. Now, I wanted to share with you a fun fact about the crock pot. Did you know that Irving Knoxon filed for a patent in 1936? And the device was inspired by his Lithuanian grandmother? I said, oh, wow, okay. I read that, and I also read that although crock pots are slow cookers, not all slow cookers are crock pots. Now let's get back to this wholesome soup. You know it's good. Real good. Like that good. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.